Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day as usual. Hope you've had your vitamin C. And we'll just wait. Hey, Donna, how are you? Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. And Jenny, good morning. If this is your first time on, let me know that, okay? Sandra, good morning. Charles, good morning. Brahim from Portland, Oregon. Okay, Tina and Kim from Timmins. Nick from our staff. Jocelyn, good morning. Another Jocelyn from Sturgeon Falls, sorry. And Carol, good morning. Grace, Wendy, good morning to you. And Zian, bonjour. Fran, snowy Orangeville. You're kidding. Chantal, good morning. Ottawa. Jerry, Nouveau-Brunswick. Mary Jane from Connecticut. Nice to have you on. Kathy, Razan, good morning. We appreciate you guys. Dave, how is you? Dawn, how are you? Chantal. Anybody first time watching this morning? Lori and Nicole and Deb from Timmins, Christy, Indianapolis. Well, good for you. Elizabeth, Connie, Shirley from Newfoundland, Springgate. Lynn, good morning. Lorraine, Flora, Andrea from Nouveau-Brunswick. Claudie, Tina. Okay, we got a good crowd coming on. Yolande, good for you. Renee from Newfoundland. Bonnie, Little Britain, Ontario. I don't know if I've ever been there. Lise and another Lise. Two Lises. And Diane, good morning. Alma, nice to have you on. Tamara and Marg from Timmins. A lot of people from Timmins. Good. Greg, Olive, Eva. Okay. Do you know what today is, guys? Do you know what today is? Besides being Tuesday, do you know what today is? Today is World Vitamin D Day. World Vitamin D Day. Do you think I wasn't going to celebrate that day? Viderma, vitamin D. And what I'm going to do this morning, I'll post this afterwards. Shocking study. It shocked the researchers at the Trinity College in Dublin, in Ireland. And counter to popular belief, listen to this. Okay, they have made a recommendation to their government and to other governments to change their opinion on vitamin D. Okay? And what shocked them is the two things. One, the outcome in this world pandemic. Here's what they found, consistent with many, many, many other studies, is that the amount of vitamin D you had directly proportional to the outcome with the virus. The amount of vitamin D you had in your bloodstream was directly proportional to the outcome in the virus. Now, does that surprise any of you? Of course it doesn't. It doesn't surprise you, but it surprised them at the University of the Trinity College in Dublin. Okay? Now, here's the second thing that shocked them. So, number one, they did observational studies and all the studies that they could get at in Europe. And obviously, vitamin D and the immune system are really important. But here's the second thing they found that shocked them. The people in the northern hemisphere in Europe, like the Scandinavian countries, to all my Finnish friends, Sweden, Finland, Norway, they did better than the southern hemisphere of Europe, like Spain and the south of France, for example, where they get a lot of sun. But the people in the northern hemisphere actually have done better. And they were shocked by that. But you know what the Scandinavian countries have in common? You know what they have in common? They supplement with vitamin D much more than Italy, much more than Spain, much more than the southern parts of France. They take vitamin D as a supplement. They know they live in the northern hemisphere. And so the Finns, the Swedes, they take vitamin D as a supplement. And the outcomes for them, incredible compared to the southern hemisphere. So two things shocked them. The higher your levels of vitamin D, Viderma, in your bloodstream, dihydroxy 25, that's how they measure it. The higher that is, the better you do. Secondly, those who supplement with vitamin D, living in the northern hemispheres. I remember I had to answer many questions. What was it, in 2020 or? Yeah. How come at the time, okay? How come Florida is doing so bad? And I used to tell them, because Floridians don't listen. They're listening to the wrong things. Skin cancer, skin cancer, skin cancer, skin cancer. That's all you can talk about. And wear your sunscreen. That was the people in Florida. All my Florida neighbors. They didn't get the memo that people get skin cancer are the ones who work indoors. They didn't get the memo. They're scared of the sun. You go to the beaches in Florida in January, February, oh, you must be Canadian. You're the only ones out here. And they pour on the sunscreen and they don't get enough vitamin D. And this researchers are saying, wow, look at the outcomes in the virus. Now, let me read to you a couple of quotes because it is Viderma Day. Now listen, you live in Canada. I've talked to you well over a month and probably 6 weeks ago. Start your vitamin D. Start your vitamin D supplementation. You live in Florida, you're probably going to have to supplement because you're scared of the sun. But I recommend you get out in the sun. Okay? Now, listen to this. I'm going to quote because this is Viderma Day. Let me quote from Dr. Cedric Garland. Who is he? He's an epidemiologist. Here's what he says. Vitamin D would prevent 600,000 cases a year. Listen to what he's saying. Vitamin D, Viderma, in his opinion, would prevent 600,000 cases a year of breast cancer and colorectal cancer. Two cancers really, can I say this? Two cancers that are out of control. You know what cancers are out of control, guys, today? Breast cancer, prostate cancer, colorectal cancer. You know what the new research on colorectal cancer is? Young people getting that cancer. Young people getting that cancer. Shocking. And of course, pancreatic cancer. You know what they have in common? Low levels of vitamin D, Viderma, and of course, pancreatic. You know, I've talked to you about these cancers in the past. People are low in vitamin D. They've got high circulating insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone, and they have high levels of estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone. Vitamin D is essential. Here we are on World Vitamin D Day. It should be World Vitamin D Year. The year of vitamin D. But it gets subdued. Why is it that you know all about vitamin D and the world doesn't know much about vitamin D? Because in Canada, our health minister, I don't know if that's changed or not, if she still is, said vitamin D was fake news. There's so much pushback from big pharma guys. There's so much pushback that vitamin D, we don't want to talk about vitamin D. There's no money in vitamin D. Nobody gets rich when you sit out in the sun or you take a supplement of vitamin D. And we've been talking about this. So Cedric Garland says vitamin D would prevent 600,000 cases a year, and this isn't just in North America, guys, of colorectal cancer and breast cancer. Quote, William Grant, a NASA atmospheric physicist, said, quoting, 500,000 American lives a year would be spared. 30% of all cancer deaths would be spared. Skin, prostate, lung would be a 50% reduction. A 50% reduction. Crazy, isn't it? I mean, guys, you know, people say to me, I've heard this over the years, they have the cure for vitamin D, but they're hiding it. Yes and no. Cancer's complex, guys. I wrote a book years ago Got to be 10 now. Are you built for cancer? And I talk about it. There's different things going on. But what we know people have in common is they have leaky gut, they have high circulating insulin, they have a lot of free radical damage, they got high levels of estrogen, and they have low levels of vitamin D. I wrote that 10 years ago in a book. And that's why I tried to simplify it, to break it down so that people, look, you live on the planet. You can't prevent everything. You could walk across the street this morning and get hit by a bus. I control everything in my life. I'm the boss. I got news for you. You're not the boss of the bus driver. What if he falls asleep? I don't know. I'm just saying, look, we don't live in a perfect world. There's, you do everything you can to keep your immune system in a healthy state and do everything you can. And that's why I'm a very foundational guy, because I talk about the importance of your diet. I talk about that every day, that you can't control everything in life. You can't control whether the sun will come out today. Or that you will see it, at least. You know what I'm saying? But you can control what you put in your mouth every day. And one of those things, and I'm big on this, is this time of the year, for most, you need a supplement of vitamin D. It's Viderma. It's a natural, it's a natural vaccine. It's a booster shot for everything. Talk about a booster. And again, you guys know me. I've been consistent about this. I've talked about vitamin D for so many years. This is 30 years ago. I quoted this in a book that I wrote, that Linus Pauling, God bless his soul, who won a Nobel Prize in medicine, who actually lectured to us, genius. And he won a Nobel Prize in medicine because of his work in vitamin C. Okay? And I wrote this, like I said, is it more than 30 years ago. He was only off by one letter in the alphabet. Linus Pauling, the genius that he was, he talked about vitamin C, coffee. He didn't talk coffee. But if he was alive today, and when they examined the polyphenols, when they examined the antioxidants, he would change his mind on vitamin C and go to coffee. I'm telling you. The coffee bean has more vitamin C than vitamin C. And it has a lot of other things. But, okay, now I don't want to get off topic, because you know me, when I start talking about coffee, I can't help myself. But secondly, if Linus Pauling knew of the research that has been done on vitamin D, he would agree that he missed by one letter in the alphabet. Vitamin D. We didn't know this, but your body is a human solar panel. Solar power. Whenever I hear politicians talking about solar panel power, I always say, well, that's our body. Even your eyeballs need the sun in order for you to make melatonin. The sun. Your brain needs the sun. Your heart needs the sun. This is one of the big things, and I might develop this tomorrow because there was a new study out. It's fascinating on the virus again, on what they've learned. Learned so much in the last couple of years. Think about it. But, and one of the things you're not hearing about is vitamin D, but the importance of vitamin D for your heart. Because for years, vitamin D was just for your bones. And that's why they miscalculated. It was bad math when it came to vitamin D. Doctors would have a heart attack. You'd be taking 1,000. Remember, go back to the 1970s. You were taking more than 200 international units of vitamin D. I mean, doctors would have a heart attack. What? You don't need any more than that for your bones. And that wasn't even true for them. It was bad math. The calculations on vitamin D were bad math. And today we know a lot more about vitamin D and its levels that has to be in your bloodstream for you to be healthy. It's a shocking study. It was the opposite of what they thought. But I'm going to tell you something too, in the southern hemispheres, people don't get in the sun. And they don't get in the sun without sunscreen. Here are 10 reasons, at least 10. I've written them down this morning because it's vitamin D Day. It's Viderma Day. Don't you like the name Viderma? I think I should get a prize for naming that. Your booster. Viderma. Right? Who are low in vitamin D? The vast majority of the population. Here's for sure, just about. Okay, so I just wrote them down. If you're over 65, you're probably over really low in vitamin D levels. Now, not you guys, because you guys know better. But I mean the population out there. People that you run into every day. Doctors don't even test your vitamin D routinely. They should. In our province, you got to pay for it. Unless they're suspicious of osteoporosis. They don't even take your dihydroxy-25. I try and educate doctors. Would you please check vitamin D levels? Do you know how important it is? But you see, negativity. Pushback from Big Pharma. Big Pharma hates vitamin D. There's not a drug in the universe that is powerful as vitamin D. And I'm not even saying they know it. They don't even want to hear it. It doesn't matter what researchers tell them. If you're over 65, generally guaranteed, the vast majority of people are low in vitamin D. You got dark skin? Why do you think African Americans, okay, why do they get so much breast cancer compared to the rest of the population. It's their dark skin. In India, they don't, they got dark skin. They need twice as much vitamin D as I do. It's their pigmentation. People who work indoors. You work indoors? Most people today work indoors. The old days of farming and working outside. I'm not saying nobody does, of course, but a lot of people don't. Most people work indoors. Bad news as far as vitamin D. It's bad news. And one of the things that I screamed about at the start, especially, you're not getting enough outdoors. We need to send the kids outside. Let them play in the dirt and let them get the sun. And don't put no sunscreen on them, for heaven's sakes. Those who wear sunscreen, heat plus chemicals equals bad news. I told you the story of my high school days in the chemistry lab. The Bunsen burner, a mixture of chemicals. I didn't know what I was doing. The crazy professor, me, and putting stuff together just to see what it does. And everything was good. I remember it bubbled up. I can remember it like it was yesterday. In a grade 13 biochemistry, chemistry class, and we're putting, and I said, I'm going to fool around with this stuff. And I put a couple of things. It bubbled. Okay. I said, I'm creating some kind of great thing here. And then I put the Bunsen burner on. Ooh, the explosion. Don't put heat to chemicals. We're so full of chemicals. Okay? So the sun is so good for you, but not when you have sunscreen on. Oh, those chemicals. What they do. When I see people lathering up with that stuff, it gives me a migraine. Live in the Northern Hemisphere, yes, of course. But isn't it funny what that study showed? If you live in the Northern Hemisphere and you're taking vitamin D as a supplement, you're doing the right thing. You got GI problems? See, vitamin D, a lot of it is metabolized. I know it's in your skin. It comes on the skin. But you better have a good gut. There's a lot of things that happen in there. In the absorption of vitamin D. And this is why they always found with Crohn's and ulcerative colitis and other people with GI problems, they had low levels of vitamin D, a lot of them, even if they were supplementing for some of them. They weren't supplementing enough. Those with bile issues. Oh, ladies. I always talk about women and bile. Bile comes out of your liver. It's stored in your gallbladder. You're meant to eat meat. And the fat in the meat, the fat in the eggs, the fat in the cheese. God gave you a gallbladder, but most women don't use it. Use it or lose it. And when you got trouble with bile, you got trouble absorbing vitamin D. It's a fat-soluble vitamin. Chicken and salad. Salad and chicken. Ooh. Okay? Gallbladder. I could spend many a session on it. Cows don't have a gallbladder. I was walking last night, just at dusk, went for a walk. There was a rabbit eating grass. Rabbits don't have a gallbladder. Did you know that? Because you don't need a gallbladder when you're eating grass. And salad is glorified grass. And if you insist on that, you're going to have low levels of vitamin D unless you're in the sun, and you better be supplementing. But it's also important to eat your vitamin D. Did you know that? Look, you can't live on vitamin D just eating it, but it's still good for you. And vitamin D3 is in the animal kingdom. When you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you get vitamin D3. D2 is in the plant kingdom. Not well absorbed, and it's not enough. It's only enough for a rabbit, not for you, okay? Vegans and vegetarians, they're extremely low in vitamin D. I'm going to say this, guys, till the cows come home, and I mean it. And I know a lot of you know people around you, especially young people today, the indoctrination. You wait till what comes out of Europe. I see all the world leaders getting together over climate change, and it scares the living life out of me. Because I know what their agenda is going to be, and that's one of it, is to get rid of meat. Oh, it's part of it. And I can't handle that, guys. I can't. It's not right. It's not science. It's political. You know, I always say follow the science. You know, when you ever hear that? But don't follow the political science. Because that's what it is. It's political science. It's not science. People with kidney disease, because kidneys have to do with vitamin D. Shift workers, low levels of vitamin D. Those are the list. Was that 10? Yes, I think it was. Viderma. It's World Vitamin D Day. I don't even know if you're going to hear that anywhere else. I hope you do, but like people just don't give it the credit it needs. Viderma. You guys know. Okay? You guys know. So, that was fun. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping. Thursday, going to be an afternoon session. Okay? Thursday will be an afternoon session. And we'll give you more details about that. Friday's question and answer. If you haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, you need to do the reset. Get the book, The Reset. The #1 selling book in Canada. We appreciate that, guys. We do. Okay? So, and you can invite your friends to the private Facebook group. Okay? So that's a great community. Lots of good stuff on there. What a, educated. You guys are educated community. I really love that. And, for those, again, we always talk about the podcast, the Doctor is In podcast. That's available to download on your smartphone. Okay? So we love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.